she wasn't deep in her addiction. She tried to do right. She tried to do better. Is that one is hard to call.
But Jay,
But
even with
for parents,
her sibling did the same thing, and her sibling's still here. Her sibling drug Keisha, and she took her sister in with all them damn kids and that
right?
dusty ass boyfriend. Keisha did that.
No, and I'm
Didn't
with
her
you, and
brother
I'm
and
with you,
I'm
but
her. I'm
Didn't
her.
her
How
brother
did that
just make
work
a
out for
story
Keisha in
about
the
her?
end? How did it work out for Keisha in the end? I'm listening. How did that work out for her after doing all that?
now that one I don't
Keisha
know. The
had to
last
move.
thing,
Eventually, Keisha had to realize that her biggest mistake, her biggest holdback was her family. That was the thing that
and
was
So now
stagnating
and
her
you
swing
know
it
growth
what?
back to
and
I'm not.
holding her back,
Glorilla.
and she
There
had to let them go in
But
order
there
now,
for
are
Keisha to
certain.
get where she
My
what she
case.
was gonna get. She literally had to leave them behind to get where she wanted to go because they weren't gonna do no better and didn't want no better.
so
There are certain celebrities who
why
have to
Glow
do that.
shouldn't do the
Yeah.
same thing right now though?
Can I make a statement? How
Yes,
many
Glock.
how many of y'all done let a family member borrow money, $100, $200, and they told y'all they were gonna pay you back, and then when they
That
didn't
is
come,
Glock.
when they
Yo,
didn't
you
come,
sound just
when they
like
didn't
Glock. I'm
come on the
sorry.
That
day,
is Glock.
listen,
That
hold,
is
Glock, is that
Glock.
you?
this not Glock, but when they didn't
No, I
come,
swear to God, it's yo.
That is
So this is
Glock.
the second time. This the second time this week. So somebody said that somebody on the other side sound like me, and now you sound like Glock, nigga. Y'all
That
cloning
is
voices.
Glock. That is
nah,
Glock.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm
Just
not.
turn your just turn your camera on real quick.
I'm driving, so I
Yeah, that's Glock.
Oh, okay.
can't. so,
The
so,
Chambers is not
Let me say
responsible for
this
nothing that
so
real
she
how
about
quick.
to do.
how many times? But how many times have y'all ever let a family member borrow money and then they supposed to bring it back on Friday or Wednesday, and then they didn't do it, and you ain't say nothing? Then you like, you know what? I'm gonna give them another week or so, and then you say, hey, you see them out there shopping, they all on Facebook at the restaurant with,
You get
doing
one
shit.
time. Look, you
Yeah,
got
and
one
then you
time.
and then you ask them, be like, hey, you owe me that 100. They like, you can get your funky ass 100.
Yes,
What
honey.
what the
And
Now the
guess
money
what? From
what?
take you
now
when it's
on
time to give it
in,
back.
right? And from now on in,
Okay, so what you think they gonna do if you gave them a big lump sum of money and you fell short? You can't go back to them and say, hey, remember I gave you like 50,000 when I had it. You gonna help me out? They're gonna be like, man, hell no, you shouldn't have gave it to me. That's just the way they're gonna treat you.
So I
I
went through
don't
that, right? And
So wait, hold on. So hold on. Jason in the audience said, "Never give money that you can't afford to lose." So
exactly.
boom, bitch, I can't afford to take care of all them siblings and my motherfucking parents. Case dismissed. Boom, there
so
it
I'm
is.
gonna say this.
My
I'm
mom
gonna say
always
this.
told me never give something away that you expect back.
And I ain't got it. In the words of Tasha K, I ain't got it.
I'm gonna tell you
There
this.
it is.
I'm gonna say this, right? I think a lot of us have different stories, right? And when it comes to siblings, yeah, like I said earlier, family fuck you first. I live by that. Your family will fuck you first, especially your close ones, the ones your right hand. That's why they always tell you don't tell your right hand what your left hand is doing. Yeah, it happens like that, right? I think a lot of us fell victim to a lot of our families. Look at Roro trying to go to sleep again.
No,
But
I'm up.
No, when
I'm
it's
not.
time to speak on the generational accountability, them eyes get real low, don't it?
but you know what? I came like my uncle said this to me. He was like, "Oh, your sister owe you, if your brother, your sister, maybe your friend owe you $1,000, and they not trying to give it back to you. Just say you paid that $1,000 for them to leave you the fuck alone. Case closed. I never have to fuck with you again."
I get that, but here's the thing, and here's what I hear a lot of what happening too. It's because everybody keep talking about generational. Okay, once you figure out the generation fucked up, is it your fault for keep fucking up, or do you still blame the generation? And now I'm blaming your grown ass because at some point it's your destiny.
But that's
See,
the point that I'm getting at. I'm her. So we gotta look back at the parents, glow parents. One, you had more than one child. Y'all kept freaking making these babies. We struggling, but y'all still freaking anyway. Now we adults. We do a little something with ourselves, and now you expect me to help your motherfucking ass out when y'all could have just stopped getting on top of each other.
Exactly, Bella.
No,
That's how I feel about
but see,
that.
here's the thing. From what I was saying earlier, it wasn't
Bravo.
so much of excusing parents' behaviors or that their failures when they're
That
raising you.
part, Drew. Oh wait, hold
Is
on, Jay. They said it perfectly in the audience. Those your kids, not mine. Boom.
so no, and I agree with that. What I'm saying and I like the way it was presented to me, not as an excuse for the things that because my parents weren't equipped to understand the mental issues that I had. They didn't have the education on it. They didn't know what the hell was going on. In fact, they grew up to ignore that. I was lucky that I got to a doctor enough for the doctor to get through to my mom to have me to continue seeing people and took medication for a number of years. But what she was saying is by giving your parents grace and understanding that they are also human beings trying to learn all this shit too, it's not excusing the things that they did or didn't do. It's understanding that they are also growing as you are growing and they're prone to making these mistakes. It's going to be larger for some and smaller for
Absolutely.
others, but
No,
just understand that
no,
level
No,
of
no.
baby,
grace.
Let me tell
baby.
you. Let me
No.
tell
Yeah, I
no.
think
Let me say
Jason
No.
was
this,
trying to
right?
say something
Listen,
that Jason
No.
and
you
Severine
listen.
been up
No.
here and ain't got a chance to talk, Bella.
Let me just say this
Yeah.
real quick. Let me just say this, right? I can't relate to none of this, right? Because I didn't have a mom like that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, she was a harsher woman, but I didn't. There was nothing that my mother was a very good mother. You understand? I lived in a 2-parent household, so I can't relate to a lot of this stuff. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you ain't ready to be a parent, stop fucking.
That part.
Exactly.
Close them. Zip it up.
See,
Close them.
again, I'm not disagreeing with
Exactly.
that. I'm not disagreeing with that
Me
at
either.
all.
Okay,
What
I'm going
I'm
after
talking
Jay. Go
about
ahead,
is
Jay.
after the decision is made. That's all I'm talking about.
Close them.
But I feel just like, Foxy said, you knew this world was messed up before you had me. You knew I need credit before I came in this world. You knew I needed all these foundations before I came in this world. Before you laid down and had me, you knew this world was effed up. So don't try to use weaponized scripture trying to tell me I'm supposed to honor you. No, let's go down the list. Exodus 20:12. I've been writing a book on this. Check the profile. Exodus 20:12. Honor thy father and thy mother. Hold up. Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way that they should go so that when they get older, they do not depart from you. Colossians 3:21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest let they be discouraged. Y'all are trying to weaponize that first scripture. Read the rest of the Bible. Weaponizing scripture is a problem in the South. I don't know where everybody else said, but in the South, y'all
Yeah,
got
man,
life
Alabama.
messed up. Like
There it is.
that right there, that scripture is tearing down a lot of kids because they feel bad about prospering because they feel like they got to carry you along when you have not been doing your part as a parent. I'm supposed to keep apologizing to you and saying, Mama, hold on, here I come to pick you up. And you haven't given me any tools to climb out of this hole. No,
Say
we
what?
ain't finna
Well,
do
see,
that. No,
That
well,
no,
part
we're
right
not.
there.
well, see,
Bitch, you ain't even helped me get
I
to where
agree.
I'm at. I had to learn how
Exactly.
to pay the electric bill. I gotta learn, bitch. How is it? I gotta learn how to pay for the motherfucking rent.
I
Hole
agree
in the
with
wall is still. You ain't teach me about finances. I had to figure it out on my motherfucking
Mm,
own. You ain't
yeah.
helped me with jack shit.
nothing. And then try to tell you when you get
Fuck
18, you
out of
getting out of
here.
here. You ain't
Wait a
gave
minute.
me
I'm gonna just
no
tell you now.
tools,
Let me
nothing.
tell you
And
something. My
that
mother
is
used to take me
sad.
to the damn bank with her. Okay? My mother used to take me to the bank and show me how to write the check out. She would tell me that, look, I'm gonna just tell you.
Yeah, my parents did that too. I figured.
Let me just,
Yeah,
I'm gonna just tell you.
I'm proud. I'm
If
definitely happy
it,
for y'all.
Bitch, don't get me started. I know what the fuck I did learn when I was up under your care. When you
Not
took
to
me
do
to the
what the shit
motherfucking
you
store and
did.
showed me how to stash the seafood underneath the grocery so they wasn't scared. Bitch, you taught me some shit.
Damn.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I
Mercy.
look.
Look,
I learned some of
look,
that
I
shit
mean,
too.
I grew
well,
I ain't
Bella,
say.
I'm
Come
gonna tell
on,
you
all parents
something,
don't do
right?
that.
I
I
saw it.
did it.
I
I
saw,
did it.
Bella,
Nothing.
wait a minute. I understand that everyone wasn't raised the way other people were raised, right? I'm gonna just say, I am so sorry to those parents that failed those children, right? My
Well,
heart,
they ain't felt me, bitch. I'm good.
Exactly.
my
oh,
heart
I'm
she ain't
goes,
great.
talking to me, so
I'm
my
still
heart,
gonna talk shit about it though.
no, my heart, my,
I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I
shit.
got over. Go ahead. I'm
Because
sorry, Roro.
we as parents don't really have it together. I understand we shouldn't be having sex and we shouldn't be bringing all these kids into the world. I get it. But at the end of the day, right? Believe what you want to believe. Do what is right for you. Because I'm not here, and I'm not. If it seemed like I was judgmental, I do apologize. Okay.
I didn't see what you did, Ro, but I was just Ro. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I'm just,
I didn't mean it that
at
way.
the end of the day, right?
Take
I
responsibility.
believe in and I've got burnt several times by giving people second and third and fourth chance. They say how the verse go. Fool me once, my mistake. Fool me twice. Yeah,
Fool
and
me
I
once,
remember
shame
when
on me. Fool
someone's
me
and
one day. She
and
fucked that
and I
all up.
remember when someone told me that, right? I said, so what happened? It was like, girl, you're supposed to be through. They're out of there. But I don't have
That's
those
Proverbs
beliefs.
55. That's when somebody you're sitting with is harming you. That's Proverbs
Exactly.
55. Check them.
It
okay.
is.
Yeah.
It
Can
is.
can I say this? I grew up
Yep.
that was
Your
married
You
for
breaking
Bad
up a
your
58
lot.
wi
You
your
years.
breaking up a
Wi-Fi
lot.
breaking
I
up.
You're breaking up.
cause I, what about now? Can y'all hear me?
We can
Yeah.
hear you
Yes, Glock.
now.
Go ahead, Glock.
Okay. I said I grew up in a two-parent household. My mom and dad were married for 58 years till he took his last breath in 2024. That don't mean anything. I made a promise to myself before I turned 21 that I was not gonna live off of Social Security, waiting on a motherfucking $1,200 check every month. So
Exactly.
I got my ass out
Right.
here and did what I had to do. And do you think I'm finna worry about the next motherfucker? No, I'm worrying about me living the rest of my life like
Exactly.
the fuck I want to.
Hear
I'm not
you.
waiting on a check every
So
month.
Bella,
I'm
I'm gonna
They
say
sorry.
say,
this. I'm gonna
okay,
say this
baby
so I can
Glock.
get out of here.
Okay,
That's
Glock.
funny. But no, I agree with everything you guys are saying. By the way, I don't think I'm on a complete opposing side. The only thing that I think I'm saying, at least to the parental part of things, is that it's kind of like that thing Mike Tyson said once about boxing. Like everybody got a plan till you get punched in the face. Everybody believe they know what they're gonna be like as a parent until some of this parent shit hits you. Once after they grow up, after they get into preteens, after they get into teenage. Sometimes, especially if you're still active when they get into adulthood. My parents always told me, I want you to be better than I am. I want you to be
Yep.
better than I was. I want
Mm-hmm.
you to know more than me. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to the point now with Keisha and I, with 4 kids, we say the same things. But I'm also hearing my parents say they've learned stuff from me and Keisha being parents that they didn't do, that they didn't know. And it's because of that I'm applying some kind of grace to some of the things that I would have liked to have heard or seen or experienced from them when I was growing up. The only thing I'm asking is for grace if it's there. The room for grace if it's there. Some people, not just parents, some people don't deserve it. I get that. But if you can see where the room is there to get it, allow it if it's possible.
But
With
Jay,
that though,
I agree. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let's normalize. Let's normalize. apologizing to our children when they
Yes,
come to us and say, hey,
100%,
Correct.
Can,
Good
can,
hey,
job.
100%.
can I
Deborah.
tell you this? Can I tell
So
you
wait,
this?
can I finish?
I'm gonna get out of here
Let's
though, man. Y'all be good.
normalize it. Let's
Have a good day,
normalize.
Jay.
Have a good night, babe.
Thanks, Jay.
Let's normalize when our children say, hey, mom, you made me feel this way. Hey, dad, you made me feel this way. And we listen, we hear them out instead of trying to shut them up. Oh, I don't want to hear that.
Exactly.
How about normalizing that?
Exactly.
Especially if we were one of those children that never got heard.
And put that in an open space, because that's what I talk about. My book is called Cracks in the Cradle. And this is kind of exactly what we're talking about. All that stuff that we got, how we got done. And it's just so many cracks in our life and in our minds is all because of how we were raised. As parents, you have an important role of creating the foundation for your kids to be successful adults, especially these boys. They're not allowing them to be able to speak, creating a safe environment for them to be able to show emotions and be okay, understanding it's okay to love on your sons, love on a person, show empathy, show grace. Like Jay was saying, some men aren't even taught that because the parents are so busy trying to tear you down. I understand that parents weren't taught maybe how to save money and structure that, but common courtesy of being respectful to your children, you knew that how to do that. You know how to do that. You are choosing to be disrespectful at the mouth to your children. You can break that cycle. You are choosing to not allow your children a space or not helping them learn things. You're doing that on purpose. So the part that I'm going to get to is understanding, create a safe foundation. If you are a mom telling your children to get out at 18 and you haven't given them anything, nothing to understand why, you are creating the same struggle and trauma. We keep talking about the men ain't no good. Where are the mothers that are starting? I understand society can play a role in it, but you have a bigger responsibility as parents. I'm not just going to put it all on the mom if there's a father there, but it's a big responsibility. We talk about the attachment theory. It's very important of how you create a foundation for your children in the early stages of their life to understand how they can be better adults. If you're constantly telling your boys, don't cry, suck it up, be a man, and you ain't even telling them how to be empathetic and stuff like that, when they get with a woman, they gonna break her down because they gonna see how mean you were to them, and they gonna be mean to the women, and they are gonna relate to you in the attitudes that y'all have. You're gonna see a smaller version, a male version of you, because you haven't taught this man correct emotional management. And I land at
Yep.
that.
No, you absolutely right.
I don't 100% agree
So
with
I just
that.
wanna,
I
Oh
I
don't.
yeah,
wanna bring
Jason, you
something
can
to the
patient. Hold
table
on, y'all.
that
Let Jason speak real quick.
so I hear all this talk about, putting a lot of blame on the parents, and I agree with J.E.'s when he said, to give grace. I'm the oldest of three. My goal in life was always to do better than my parents, to have more, to be able to provide for my kids in a better way. I set goals when I was young, and ultimately tried to always achieve those goals. Now, middle child syndrome does exist. Parents don't know how to deal with every kid differently of the older generation. And lastly, that last child who seemed to get away with everything seems to grow up entitled, and those parents don't know how to deal with that. So I have two retired parents, and I have a younger brother who seems to think that their house is his house and that he didn't need to work for anything. He never understood that he needed to work. And the simple goals of just, hey, you need to get out there and learn to do something. He hasn't grasped that. Even at 40, he hasn't. So helping a kid out, helping a family member out when you come into money, yeah, I'm always gonna look out to try to help my brother. But even when I say this, I say that there's always gonna be boundaries and guidelines to helping him, because he's never got out there to work on his own to like try to get money, to try to do better. I can only help you as much as you want to help yourself. And parents have to deal with that when they don't discipline their kids to the full extent, the same way that they discipline the first and the second. By the time you get down to number 7, guess what? That discipline went right out the door. They're not raised equally. Sometimes the oldest gets the harshest of it all, and that's because the parents are still learning. But by the time you get to 4 and 5, guess what? Those kids they've been spoiled by their older siblings and by the parents. And then they've never learned how to work for anything. And guess what? They have mouths that show that, and that's why they're put out at 18.
Okay, so Jason, I'm glad you said that, because when we're talking about the oldest looking after the youngest, motherfucker, that's your kid. Why the fuck you got me waking them up for school, getting them some breakfast, getting them a bath, making sure their clothes is out? Bitch, that ain't my child. The shit that y'all be doing, the shit y'all would do to y'all kids, be fucked up, and y'all normalize that shit. Oh, thank God that my children is close with each other. Bitch, it wasn't a choice. They look hate your ass.
Change. Unfortunately, times change. Sometimes they change very rapidly. And inflation and things like that can cause a household to change where now both parents are out working. And in the beginning, it may have not been that way. But then also, let's just say, for instance, you grow up in a large family, so you want to have a large family, but you really don't have the means to have a large family and actually provide them with all the things they may want. You can provide what they need, but you don't have everything to provide what they want. So you go out and work 2 jobs. This is one of the
So what
things
that
that I
got to
try
do
to
with
tell a
making
lot
the
of guys.
oldest child be the fucking third parent? What that
It's
got
a
to do?
matter of helping out the family, because
No such thing.
I
Look,
believe
that ain't
Kid.
true.
ultimately, as a
That's
family,
not
you're
true.
supposed
Get
to
a
help one
sitter for them
another.
fucking kids. Get
That's
a
not true.
helper for them
So,
kids. They not my
so
kids.
I have a
Those are
question.
your kids.
So I have a question for you. So Nick Cannon has what, 13 kids, and he has a shitload of money. But I could tell you, personally, I believe it's child abuse that he has 13 kids. People
Well, why
say,
you
"Oh,
say
but he
that?
has the money to
So
take
it's
care of them."
So it's child abuse that he
He
has
has.
all them kids, but it's not abusive to pawn off
I,
a responsibility to the oldest to look after the youngest. Do that make sense to you? So is the child not being, what is that, emotionally abused? You're abusing the resource. Okay, so I can't have a childhood. I'm 16. I'm supposed to be hanging out with friends on the weekend. But no, I gotta stay home and babysit my fucking sibling because this bitch didn't want to make sure that she had her ducks in a row to make sure they had coverage. I can't do activities after school because I gotta go home and watch these fucking kids. What are we talking about?
Are not mine.
so I only have
Bella,
two.
I can't have a childhood that
Bella,
I'm supposed to.
the real
And
truth
I
of the
work
matter
my
is
ass off to make sure
the
they
the
can
real
do
truth
sports.
the
The
real
thing
truth
is
of the
that
matter is you can give your kids everything, do everything. They can have the world in their hand, and they still gonna say it was something you did wrong or someone right. A point blank period. I'm a motherfucking
Got it.
living witness of that. My kids got $250 allowance every goddamn week from the age of motherfucking 10 till they got full adults. Each
Glock.
and every one of them. My kids all had the same Mercedes, but different color, the
That
same
is
fucking
Glock,
year.
y'all.
No, it's not. I gave my kids every damn thing.
She
And
said
then that,
Mercedes.
and
Once she
then
said Mercedes,
They
that
said,
was the day
You should
giveaway.
have switched up the cars,
You should have
Glock.
switched up the cars,
no,
Glock,
I
because you.
can put my son, on here. I have 3 kids. I'm from Alabama,
and she
originally from
got sons
Alabama.
too.
I'm
There
not
it is.
Glock. I'm
She got
not
sons
Glock. Well,
too.
That's her.
I have 2
Yep,
sons and
there
a
it is.
daughter. No, I'm
Hell
not
of a
Glock.
coincidence.
Hold on. I heard
That's
her
a hell
brother.
of a
I'm not her.
coincidence.
But what I'm
Live the Glock,
saying
y'all.
is,
Share the live the Glock.
you can give them everything, and they still go. My kids tell me you did too much. You gave us too much. That's the reason why we are now. We ain't finna work for no bullshit money, cause we not used to it. So they say I fucked up by
So
doing
that's
too
the flip
much.
side of things. And that's the flip side of things. If you give too much with no real responsibility, that's where the entitlement comes into play. And that's
Yeah, you
where
gave without
everyone will
guidance.
fend for themselves. So with all that said, I only have two girls, but I raised them to be very independent. I've shown them a lot of things. And I can say that I provided for them more than what my parents were able to provide for me. I provided them with opportunities that my parents didn't provide for me. And it's not that my parents couldn't. It's just that there was three of us. So they had to split their income between three kids. I only had to split between two. And even though I may have I've provided them with everything they needed, there was things I couldn't provide to them that they wanted. But guess what? That's fine. You learn to go without so that when you get it on your own, you appreciate it. And that's what a lot of these younger generations don't understand, is that it's not going to always be handed to you. You can work for it. You can figure it out. You're going to get the things that you need, not always the
Glorilla
things that you
sister.
So
want.
Jason, that's not it. And I'm gonna let you go
Yeah,
on her.
I
So
agree.
Jason, that's
It's
not
all
it.
about money for me.
In order for my son to understand financial literacy, it has to be taught for him to value living on his own and understanding the things that he needs just so he can get through on his own. It's my responsibility to guide him here. I cannot sit here and be surprised if he don't know how to pay his electric bill. He don't know how to balance his check. If I didn't teach him that shit, how am I going to look at him like, damn, I'm out
So
here
hold on
fucking
right
up?
there.
Bella,
So hold
thank
on
you for
right there.
having me.
So when my
Have a
kid
good
Good
came to
one,
night.
me
Willow.
and
Y'all have a
told
good
me
one.
she wanted
Willow.
new shoes, when my kid came to me and told me she wanted new shoes, she was in middle school. And she told me she wanted new shoes, and I told her, well, it just doesn't work that way. I sat her down, showed her my paycheck, showed her the bank account, showed her how it all works. Guess what? When she got to college, she calls me, she says, Dad, I need some money. Okay, I'll transfer it into her bank account that she had when she was in middle school. I transfer the money from my account to hers. She asked me again, Dad, I need some money. I transfer the money to her account, and then I start thinking, wait a minute, what the fuck? What is she spending this money on? So I look at her bank account so I can scroll through and see what the hell's going on. Starbucks every fucking day, eating out every fucking day. Here it is, I'm the one working every day, and I don't eat out every day, and this kid's in college just living it up off of my money, off of my paycheck. Immediately that comes to a halt. Hold on. Didn't I tell you when you were a kid how this works? How the money works? It's not just indefinite. It's not in an infinite amount. It's it's the entitlement that happens because then they're around other people that are just able to go and do that.
Well,
Well,
let me
I'm gonna
say this.
say
I
this.
think, you know,
Can I say this real quick? When my
go
mother
ahead.
told me no, you know what I did? Because it was a supermarket not too far from me. I went in the supermarket and I packed bags. I used to pack bags. When my mother said she couldn't do it, I used to pack bags. But it wasn't that she couldn't do it; she didn't want to do it. But I appreciate that because she taught me to hustle. Right? I used to take my cup every day after school. After I did my homework and everything, I used to get to the supermarket by 5 o'clock and pack bags from 5 to 8. On Saturdays and Sundays, I would pack bags from 8 to 8 just to have my own money. Just to have my own money. I appreciated SYEP. I appreciated working for Summer Youth. And back then, when we used to get the little Summer Youth checks, that little $300, $400, that was a lot. So I appreciate some shit, but I tell you one thing, my baby is 17. There's no way in the world I'm gonna go hunch right now, have another baby, and then have her responsible to watch this child so I could go out here and make shit move and shake.
I
Hello.
think when parents make the older children take care of the other children, I think that is also teaching them that it's an easy thing to do, right? And then you just perpetuate a cycle, right? Your children are your children, like they come out of your hooch. You birthed them, you take care of them, right? And also, I think parents need to teach children how to earn things. We don't just give them things, you make them earn things. I have a 13-year-old. The only thing that she has, her only job in is she has chores and she has grades. That is her job. You make C's, you don't get a Kurt Geiger bag. Shit, I might take your ass to Walmart. You don't get to ask for stuff. You get what the hell I give you. Cause I can provide, but because you earn what you you have to earn things. And so that's what we do in our house. We make our child earn things.
Well, I understand what everybody's saying, but just to touch on the topic, and I think it coincides with what, Baby Glock down here talking about and what Jason is saying. Baby Glock says, well, I gave them everything. I gave them everything. I gave them everything. And they still are disrespectful in a way. Not saying they disrespectful, but they still
Nah,
ungrateful.
I'm
They,
not saying they disrespectful,
they
but
ungrateful. Let me
they
finish.
they okay, go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
finish. Let me finish. And then you have Jason. Well, I set her down. I showed her how things work, and she still was irresponsible. So again, you can give the child everything. Spare the rod and spoil the child. You can teach the child, show them how to do it right, but ultimately, it's the child that becomes an adult that has to adapt to these things and learn how to either build from it or it takes over them because they don't have the tools.
I'm
But
about to
I'm gonna
drop
say,
down. Thank you for having me up.
let me say
Good
this.
night, y'all.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna drop down because I'm probably get cussed out. What I did, I thought was right because if I put them in a bracket where they was able to have everything they want, which don't to me, I feel like if you sit up here, you working from paycheck to paycheck, and you're comfortable with that, and you settling, then you just want to be a fucking slave. So why? The way my kids are, they all got their own business now. Cause they said, "Nah, I'm not working for that shit because that ain't the way we came up." So my kids run their own shit now. They don't. I don't have to worry about them. They don't have to worry about me. We all got our own. But it's cause that's the way I brought them up. Don't work for nobody. Work for your damn self because they don't give a damn about you and they don't give a damn about what you got to pay for. Get your ass out here and get it on your own.
Just curious, what kind of business did you teach them that did they end up learning to have for themselves? Just name one example.
My daughter, she runs her own tax company and she do hair. My
Okay.
baby boy and my oldest son, they in with me in the trucking industry. They have their
I
own
knew if you
trucks.
blocked, I was waiting for you to say truck.
Now
I
why she
knew
sitting up here
it.
trying to play on our
I
time?
knew it. I
This
was
is
just being
not
patient.
this
Soon
is
as you
not
said
Glock.
trucks, I
This is
knew it.
not Glock.
Glock is
Look,
on her daughter
look.
page. She
I
on her
knew it.
daughter page. Glock is on
This
her
is
daughter
me.
page.
This is me. Everybody, it's a lot of people on here who that knows me. I've been running my own trucking company for over 10 years, but I've
That's
been
what
in
she
the
said.
trucking industry for 27, and that's
That's what
what
she
we
said.
do. We
That's what she
we
Stay
said.
right here. Share the live the Glock, y'all. Stay right
share
here. Share the live
share
the
it to
Glock.
Glock, and Glock gonna cuss y'all out.
Don't you
Hey,
drop.
look,
Don't you drop.
listen. Mm, that's a hell of a coincidence.
Ultimately, there's no handbook
It was the
to
bins
being a
that taught me,
parent.
that got me.
Just like there's no handbook to life itself. Some of us grow up a little bit more fortunate than others. And, the bottom line is that you have to get out there and have a goal for yourself in life. And if you get out there and try to reach for those goals, ask questions, you'll get to where you want to be. And everybody doesn't have that burning desire and fire under their asses to do so.
And you also, but you also have, and to piggyback off of that, you also have to let your children fail sometimes. You have to let them fail. You have to, like, in certain situations, you have to let them fail under controlled environments, because you don't want them going out into the world, right, where they fail and it's not controlled, right? They learn the lessons now. Like, I am constantly talking to my 13-year-old about all types of all types of situations, all types of different things, right? Consistently. There's not nothing that we don't have a conversation where we build on a lesson about life. There's nothing that that I don't do, that my husband and I don't do, in regards to teaching her about life.
Right.
And you just have to let them. You have to let them fail. You have to let them fail. You have to let them also reap the consequences of their actions sometimes.
Also believe that in the process of doing that, you have to allow them, you have to trust them, right? So they can build the trust with you as well. And I think that's the part where a lot of the misconceptions come in. Like, because when I be scrolling through lives, soon as my kid turned 21, they got to get out. Why? It's right now in society, it's so fucking hard. A lot of us are just one paycheck away from losing it all. So why would you
Sorry.
throw your kids to the wolves in a society like this? And then now we're talking about, oh, they didn't live a life like that. That's not how they was born and raised. A lot of people just really feel like throwing their kids out at a certain age is the move. I don't think like that. But see, a lot of people have not grasped the concept of actually giving your child a voice. Give your child a voice. Allow them to speak freely to you, whether it hurts your feelings or not. Because are we at the point where we're saying your feelings are not valid? It's what I say, do what I say, not as I do. At what point do it all cut off? And then we actually give them a voice, allow them to talk, see where they at, see where their mind space is at, and as parents, help them get to where they need to be. I'm scared to allow children in today's society to fail because they pick up they lose one thing and pick up another trait that can be very detrimental, or they can follow the wrong crowd and fuck them up for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and let me just say, like, one of the things that I also know is that at a certain age, you are no longer, if you haven't instilled the morals and the values, kids are paying more attention to what you are doing versus what you are saying. If you are not being what you are say that you are, they gonna peep that, and guess what? That's when they throw it in your face later.
Oh no, I ain't gonna throw it in your face. I just won't fuck with you.
Well, I'm just saying,
That's all.
right? I understand what you're saying, but that's what, you know what I'm saying.
Thanks, bro. Gotta run.
That's when they end up
Thank you,
throwing.
Jason.
That's when they end up throwing it in your face later, right? Because it is not about do as I say, not as I do. You have to be the example. If you are not the example, how can you? You're being a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
You are being a hypocrite.
No, I agree with that. So
That's true.
I agree with that. What I'm saying is, in today's society, right? Allowing, I heard what you said, where you have to let them fail, but at what point do you stop it, right? Because if you let them fail too far, then it can be detrimental. And at this, and especially in today's time, we speak on mental health so much. Like, at what point do you stop it? Like, you
No,
want them
you
to
have.
fail. You
So
want
when
them
you
to
So
teach,
hold
fail.
on, hold on. So hold on. I want y'all to put a pin in that. Miss Reese, what you got for us?
Hey Bella. I kind of can piggyback off of a lot of the conversation that's going on. I can piggyback off of New York Foxy and White Foxy when she says allow your kids to, fail a little bit. Me growing up, because our when we give advice, it's usually about something that we've been through ourselves or we've been able to be understanding to other people's situations. But me growing up, I had two parents that were 16 years old when they had me. And my mom started dating another guy when I was 3 months. He was 25 and she was 16. And so he wanted there to be a wedge between me and my sisters. My mom has four daughters. He even challenged them to fight me. I was about 9 years old. They was 7 and 6. And I bust one of their nose and I bust one of their mouth. And so my mom, as being a young parent, she like just beat them up, because it's immaturity. Which God, around that same time, God showed me that I was more spiritually mature than my parents. But anyways, he wanted me to fight them. He just wanted us to be against each other. But at 9 years old, I made it up in my mind that I would never fight my sisters, hit any of them. I'm the oldest on my dad's side and my mom's side. And so I made it in my business, made it that day. I was like, I'm never gonna hit my sisters again because they are my siblings versus him not being my dad. Well, my mom stayed with him for 36 years. She's been out with him for the last 3 years. Me and my mom, we had a topsy-turvy relationship. She she told me she was wanting her family, and that was that. She wanted her kids and her man and her family. When I was there, she made me feel uncomfortable. Everybody, my sisters didn't, of course, because when people see us as a family now, like you'll never know that there was distance between me and my mom. But I have one son, and she even wasn't there for him. She was just there for my sisters, their kids, and my one sister has 5 kids now. My other sister got 2 boys. One sister got 3 kids. I'm the only one with 1 kid. She told me that she didn't help me because I didn't need help. She told me I was a good mom, and a good mom doesn't need help. All of that to say, today, me and my mom have a great relationship because of me. I made it my business to get healed from all of those things that hurt me, because usually those things are to make us be who we are. And if we never experience those things, living house to house and just like all of that stuff, we wouldn't be able to understand what happiness truly is. And so me living my life the way that I do now, and yes, the Bible says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Me and my mom depends on me for a lot. I do hair. I'm in the process of opening up me a shop right now. But my mom, she depends on me for a lot. She asks me for money, you know what I mean? And just different things like that. And I'm there for her when I want to be. I don't feel obligated. The Bible doesn't even tell us that we have to take care of our family, but we do what we want to do. And that's where forgiveness comes in, and it takes its toll and it does its thing. So if you truly forgive somebody, then you don't go back and you count what they've done to you in a time of trouble. So if I'm mad at my mom today, I'm not mad at her about what happened 39 years ago, because I'm 39 now. I'm not mad at her what happened when I was 9 years old, when I was 11. I'm not mad at her about any of that. When I'm upset with her, yes, my mom has apologized to me so much. She apologizes to me all the time, which I don't even need an apology because I'm healthy in my life and I worked hard to get where I am. The peace that I have is because I work for that. my son, he's raised up by me, my mom and my sister. They would be like, you need to be mean to him. You needed this, you needed that. No, I raised up my son in a way that I wanted to raise him. I actually got to talk to Tea Time. That's my girl. I would be on her panel and I would talk to her. But I always say I raised my son with Christ because I am a single mom. All my other sisters, they are in a relationship with their, their children's father or whatever. But sometimes those relationships with them are unhealthy. They were in the stages of fighting, just like all of that stuff that we were raised up around. My mom would be drinking and, just a lot, anybody could tell their testimony and it's valid. And so even for you, me listening to you, hearing that, your mom wasn't who you needed her to be, and she still created you who is successful and who is a successful parent, but you are that because of, what you didn't want to do as a mom. My mom even told me, she said, I wish you was my mom. And I said, that's the most beautiful thing you could ever tell me. Everybody talks about how I should have other kids and, just different stuff like that. But I'm only who I am because of what I've been through. And everybody will say, well, do you feel like you would change something? That's neither here nor there, but I personally wouldn't because it brought me understanding of, the ups and the downs and just who I am. I'm able to understand a foster kid. I service all walks of life. So I'm able to understand them and, get them to understand me and to know that forgiveness really gets you a long way. And forgiveness really isn't even for you. It's for the other person, it's for yourself. When you forgive other people, you're letting go of those burdens or whatever it is that they caused you to make you feel a way that keeps you weighed down instead of being free. And so that's why I walk in freedom every day. I don't allow what happened in my past or none of that stuff to keep me bound. And my son, he is a successful boy. He's about to be 18 on the 26th of this month. He has so many college offers. And like I said, I raised him with Christ. So we go to church. I am a minister. My son can preach at the church. It's just so many blessings have been poured into my life. And that's because I choose to respond to what was sent to destroy me in a healthy way that's best for me. You know what I mean? And that makes my faith grow stronger and know that God never left me, And so at the end of the day, yes, God never said forgiveness with bringing proximity. It doesn't mean you need to forgive them and bring them close to you. You still hold them to wherever
That's
it is
all I
that they
had.
need to
That's
be.
all I was going to say was
Let's see.
distance. Forgiveness with distance.
Yes.
You hit it right.
This is
Thank you, Brooklyn.
this is what y'all need to understand. Every family have a black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean you the bad person. You just gonna get treated different. But that ain't no bad thing. Cause they see the strength in you.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there will make you as powerful as you are. That's why you grow like you grow, because you was the black sheep. I
Mm-hmm.
was the black sheep. Bella,
Thank
you was
you.
the black sheep. But look where the hell you stand. That's a good thing.
Yes, and
So
some people that's on drugs and stuff like that, their mind isn't even capable of understanding the hurt that they inflicted on you or caused you because they were in a space where they weren't healthy. And so my son's grandma made me understand a lot about addiction and stuff like that. And so that's why I am a single mom because I refuse to allow my son to be in that atmosphere. But when somebody isn't healthy for you, they don't have the capacity to even give you what you need. Even our parents, some parents don't know what love is. So they give you their version of what love is, which isn't the full version, because I learned a lot about what love is through God and through Christ and him sending people that because sometimes we want people to be the ones that, like our parents or somebody else, to pour something into us when God is giving you exactly what you need. It just isn't through the person that you feel like it should come from, but he's definitely, covering you and carrying you. And it could look a little different because I didn't learn what love was through my mom. If that was the case, I would have been, 26 years old when I finally learned what love is, because my mom started to come around more, and like I said, me forgiving her, still, was the catalyst of me moving forward. Even with my dad, me and my dad, I talk to my dad. He's like a friend. I wouldn't even say he's like my father. My dad, he's like a friend. Like when I talk to him, it's cool, but I don't talk to him all the time. And I do what's healthy for me, the boundary that I have for me. Even with our friends and even certain people that's connected to us, God don't even allow us to have those blessings that we will receive if we stay connected to certain people that we are to let go. And it doesn't matter if they're your family or not. And so that's all I wanted to say, because this topic right here, I could talk about it all the time.
To be honest with you, what you described was your mama was trying to keep her man. He didn't care for you because you wasn't his.
Correct.
And he didn't
Oh,
care for you, and your mama chose him over
Yes,
you.
that's exactly
That's
what
what
happened.
I heard.
Yes, that's what happened. That's what happened. But guess what? She thought that she was in love and stuff like that. And she didn't know what love was either, because she came from her lineage of, with her parents and stuff like that. So what my mom did was really better for me than was done for her. But what I do for my son is way better than I was done, than my mom was done. And I know my son's going to be able to carry his family way better. And I graduated high school with my hair license, and he's going to college. I've never went to college. I've had some doors open where, I should have been college certified, but that's neither here nor there. So me walking this path with him going to college it's a new door, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful to be able to walk with it with my son. And like New York Foxy said, I pour into my son every day. We talk about the most craziest stuff to the most peaceful stuff. I have a different relationship with him, and it's all because of me living house to house. I seen what I didn't want going on in my home. I seen what, I picked up some things that I would love to, be a parent like and stuff like that. And so, yes, I never let nobody live in my home with me. I was in a relationship with a guy for 5 years, but I never lived with him because I didn't want him to cause my son to feel less than or unwanted or any of that. And that was because of my experience in my life. But it actually was the will of God, because he doesn't want us to be just shacking up anyways. But my son's life and his, what I have going with him was more important than that. And my sister's dad told my sister that he didn't per se not like me. He said that he did that to hurt my mom. So he mistreated me and my son to hurt my mom. And I was like, well, that's crazy, because we're not a pawn in their game. We're not a pawn in his game. You know what I mean? And he's suffering right now. And guess what? I pray for him. When I see him, I speak to him. It's plenty of times where he would come in the house and ignore me and my son. But guess what? When we go somewhere and my son is in there or wherever it is, my son gets acknowledged everywhere that he goes. And guess what? He wants to be a part of my son's life. He'd be like, that's my grandson, when you never treated him as a grandson ever. You never treated me as a daughter. But that's where God will handle people who, mishandled you. And that's how I live my life. And that's how I go in peace and grace, like somebody said up here, and just the different things. There isn't a book, and there isn't like a right or wrong way. I mean, we just choose to either be free or let those people have those strongholds over us and keep us bound. And I'd rather be free, because I paid a lot for the freedom that I have in feelings and just in life in general. So I'd rather walk in peace. And I've been having this peace for about a good 7 years, and I want to continue it. And I don't want to let nobody penetrate that. So if I have to let somebody go, I definitely will. I have no, it's even a blessing in letting go. So that's basically what I got to say.
Miss
So now let me
Reserve,
ask you
I've been
something,
You
on my
Miss
got
journey.
the
Reserve.
you
Can I
got the
ask
No,
you
you?
got
you good. I was just gonna say that I've been on my peaceful journey for the past 4 years, so
Hmm.
I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Hmm.
you got to learn to treat your feelings like a faucet.
Hmm.
When you want to deal with it, you turn it on. When you don't, shut that shit off.
Hmm.
I'm cutthroat with it. I could be your friend for 13 years. You can cross me one time and I ain't speaking to your ass no more. That's just how
Clock
quick
it.
it is.
It is.
I cut your ass off.
Yeah, I have a friend
Period.
for 25 years. I just cut her off in November and I don't feel bad about it. I actually feel good about it. I feel like God already told me I showed you her and what you do with her is your will. And so, hey, my will is no longer to be connected to her. And I love my God kids and I'll see them for their birthdays and do whatever. But, you know, I've learned a lot in this life. And even before I was 39, because I'm going to be 40 in March, I still was very
Okay,
mature for my age.
Pisces,
Nikki, I swear I was thinking of
Pisces.
that song. Facts, I was thinking of that song. I was. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But thank you for letting me
Now, how do we think that Glorilla's supposed to handle this whole situation? Now, if we're gonna bring it way back,
Bring it back so we can wrap it up. Absolutely. Miss Reserve, do you understand the context of how we got in this conversation as far as Glorilla and what her sister did to her?
yes, with her sister, I just feel like she should, you know, she already know who her sister is, and she should cut her off. I mean, if she's not obligated to do anything that she doesn't want to do, and she knew you don't have to even bring it to a situation of falling out or you know any of that. Sometimes you just cut them off because you already know where it is. You know what I mean? And she isn't obligated, so she don't owe her sister nothing um, and
You
whatever
see,
she want to
Jojo.
do is her right, but she don't have to. And I feel like that. Some people you just cut them off for a lifetime. Some people you can spin the block and see how. I wonder how this relationship would be, but then there's other times where you just
Oh,
gotta
I
let the
learned my
people
lesson
go.
so many times.
Hmm.
Tried that with a friend, biggest mistake. Family, when they show up, especially I feel like the moment you hit 30, if that shit happen again,
Hmm.
Grace, I feel like Grace is in your 20s. I'll give you some. The moment I hit 30 and you still moving, you gotta go. Out the door, you gotta go. Ain't no excuses for it at that point. I
Yeah.
can't keep giving you passes to just keep fucking me over because opportunity presents itself to.
Hmm.
No, gotta draw the line somewhere.
For sure. I feel like 40-year-olds, I used to be like 40-year-olds get on my nerves. But now that I'm almost 40, where I'm here, I understand a 40-year-old. They've been through the storm and the rain. They didn't allow people to walk over them. They didn't, you know, been nice, overly nice and stuff like that. Now I'm still nice because I still represent Christ, but I don't allow people to do what I used to let them do in my 20s. I don't allow them to do what they did in my even in my early 30s and stuff like that. I've learned a lot, and that's why 40-year-olds they stand in their ground. They like I ain't coming to play with you. I said what I said. It is what it is. But yeah, cutting people off, it doesn't matter even if it's their family, because sometimes your family is God's first way of showing you betrayal. You know.
Hey, whoa, that right
Hmm.
there.
Hmm. I told
Boom.
you I could go on and on about this this topic because I talk to people about it so much
And
when
darling,
I
let me
do
say
here and
this to
stuff.
you. Let me say this to you. There's an old saying that the old people say, you're gonna learn a whole lot more. Just keep on living.
Hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you this, right? Discernment and wisdom is being able to learn from other people's mistakes by
Hmm.
watching them.
Yes. Yes.
Okay?
Sure.
So I'm just saying. And I'm gonna just say there's a whole lot of old fools out there.
Hmm. Hmm. Still
Okay?
looking for
I'm
something
just
that they're
saying there's a whole
lacking.
lot of old fools out there.
Hmm.
Listen, I'm gonna say this before I drop down because I only stayed up here because I was waiting on Glock because y'all swear on Glock, but I'm not. I'm gonna say
Girl.
this. This is the way I see life. Now, this is what I taught myself. The higher you get, the less stairs as you go up. Everybody ain't meant to go with you.
Yes.
Fuck them. Lead their ass where they at, and you continue to grow on your own. If you have to go by yourself, look, long as you reach the top. Fuck them.
For sure.
Thank you, Bella. I'm a
Thank
drop.
you for the
Mommy.
confirmation. Thank you.
So, as my takeaway from this conversation, Glow don't owe nobody a fuck thing, not even an explanation, not a bat of the eye. Whatever her grown ass sister want to do with her grown ass life, that's your problem, not her issue. We are adults. She is an adult, an able-bodied adult at that. So get out and get it, girl. You working your mouth muscle. You better work a couple of more muscles. Apply yourself. Good day.
Good day. All right. Listen, I'm loving it. NY Foxy, what's your think piece before you go, boo?
She don't owe a motherfucking thing. Look, like I said, you know that person, she was on the short bus with the helmet. She didn't make it all the way to the classroom. Okay, she didn't switch classes with nobody. And then on top of that, when she got older, she was smoking that stuff. Look, you
Yep, that's enough. We're going to, yep, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough. We're going to, yep, we're going to leave that alone. We picking up what you putting down. We're going to leave that alone. Love you, girl. Nonetheless, this was a great conversation. Great topic. Expect more of these conversations to come about. Okay? We're getting back to the topics while dipping and dabbing into some mess too. Okay? Thank y'all for those that supported the live. Thank y'all for helping with the goals, the gallery, tap shares, the panelists that came through, the audience. Appreciate everybody. I will catch y'all possibly tomorrow. Might be in the morning. Definitely not sure. We'll see. Catch me in the streets. Good night, everybody.